US President Donald Trump said in a tweet that he would announce his decision on whether to withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal today at 1800 Greenwich Mean Time. Trump has threatened to withdraw from the deal, which provided Iran with relief from sanctions in exchange for limiting its uranium enrichment capacity unless European signatories to the accord fix what he has called its shortcomings. Earlier, Trump had tweeted about what he said was former U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry's possibly illegal shadow diplomacy. On his visit to the U.S., British Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson appealed to U.S. President Donald Trump not to pull out of the Iran nuclear agreement, saying the deal had weaknesses but they could be addressed given time. Johnson and U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo held talks at the State Department, but during a brief photo call, neither indicated a shift in position. US President Donald Trump defended his pick to run the CIA after reports said she had sought to withdraw from the nomination over concerns about her involvement in the agency's interrogation program. HASPEL is expected to face a challenging confirmation hearing in the Senate Intelligence Committee on Wednesday. Trump nominated HASPEL, who would be the first woman to lead the intelligence agency, to succeed Mike Pompeo, who has become Secretary of State. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence urged Venezuela to suspend a divisive May 20th election he denounced as a sham as Washington slapped fresh sanctions on Nicolas Maduro's regime. In an address to the Organization of American States, Pence slammed the upcoming presidential vote boycotted by the opposition and branded illegitimate by much of the international community. U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions issued a warning to undocumented migrants attempting to cross into the United States, saying they will be prosecuted by the Justice Department if they attempt to make the crossing illegally. Sessions' news conference came as it emerged the administration of President Donald Trump will increase criminal prosecutors of parents entering the United States illegally and place their children in protective custody as part of efforts to tighten immigration enforcement. US First Lady Melania Trump has announced a campaign to teach children the importance of social, emotional and physical health. Melania Trump said that the Be Best initiative aims to promote healthy living using social media in positive ways and combating opioid abuse. The US First Lady announced the initiative in the Rose Garden at the White House. The U.S. Naval Strike Force, led by aircraft carrier USS Harry S. Truman, has begun sorties against Islamic State in Syria. The force joined the U.S. 6th Fleet on April 18th, nearly a week after the U.S.-led airstrikes targeting the chemical weapons installations in Syria. The Truman is capable of carrying 90 aircrafts, including the F-18 Super Hornet fighter jets. Paraguay will move its embassy in Israel to Jerusalem by the end of May, following the United States and Guatemala. Paraguay's embassy is currently located near Tel Aviv. A Paraguay government spokesman said Cartes was scheduling a trip to Israel to move the embassy on May 21st or May 22nd. The status of Jerusalem is one of the thorniest disputes between Israel, which says the city is its eternal and indivisible capital, and the Palestinians, who want the eastern part of the city as the capital of their own future state. Emergency authorities battling lava flows and gas erupting from Hawaii's Kilauea volcano warned some residents to evacuate immediately as a new fissure opened and more structures were destroyed. Videos uploaded to social media showed lava flow destroying cars, fences and various fires in Puna. Meanwhile, a dramatic footage showed the moment lava engulfed a car on the streets of Puna in Hawaii. Kilauea has destroyed 26 homes and forced 1,700 people to leave their residences since it erupted on Thursday. Guatemalan environmentalists and government officials have created a project to clean and recycle massive rubbish buildup in a once polluted river before it reaches the Gulf of Honduras. Guatemala's Environment Ministry has spearheaded a program in which they place what they call biofences, which are barriers built with mesh filled with containers that float on the river, forming dams. Rubbish floating on the surface of the river is then captured. A US pastor denied terrorism and spying charges in a Turkish court, calling them shameful and disgusting. In a prosecution that has been condemned by US President Donald Trump, Andrew Brunson, who could face up to 35 years in jail, denied links to a network led by US-based Muslim preacher Fethullah Gulen, accused of orchestrating a failed military coup in Turkey in 2016 and the outlawed Kurdish PKK militant group. President Sergio Mattarella called for Italy's bickering political parties to rally behind a short-lived neutral government, saying the only alternative would be a swift revote after March's inconclusive election. Mattarella said the neutral administration would be tasked with drawing up a 2019 budget and it would then resign in December to open the way for fresh elections in the spring, the time of the year when all post-war votes have been held in Italy. Billionaire investor Warren Buffett said buyers of Bitcoin, which he was characterized as rat poison squared, thrive on the hope they'll find other people who will pay more for it. Likening Bitcoin demand to the tulip bulb mania in 17th century, Warren Buffett said the mystique behind the cryptocurrency has caused its price to surge. The leader of Lebanon's Iran-backed Hezbollah group said that election results would guarantee the protection of the resistance. Hezbollah was founded as a resistance movement to Israel. Hezbollah, along with the allied groups and individuals, secured at least 67 seats, according to a news agency's calculation based on preliminary results. Seats in the Lebanese parliament are divided according to a strict sectarian quota. The number of Hezbollah lawmakers was the same for little changed at around 13, but candidates supported by the group or allied to it made significant gains. Lebanese Prime Minister Saad Ali Hariri said the international community should look at results of Lebanon's parliamentary election in a very positive way. Hariri said his future movement won 21 seats in the vote on Sunday, down from the 33 he won the last time Lebanon elected a parliament in 2009. Despite the losses, the result positions Hariri as the front-runner to form the next government as the Sunni Muslim leader with the biggest bloc in parliament. South African police clashed with residents in the township of Soweto who staged a protest after squatters tried to erect shacks in nearby fields, the latest of many flare-ups over the vexed issue of land distribution. Local TV channel broadcast live footage of police who had removed the squatters at the weekend, firing rubber bullets to disperse the protesters. France's Prime Minister told Labour union leaders that he expects the debt-ridden SNCF rail company to reach financial break-even by 2022 and has promised to make announcements on the issue before the end of May. Seeking to end a strike that has crippled rail services for much of the past month, Prime Minister Edouard Philippe met the main protagonists one at a time in a bid to revive discussions the unions halted last month. Around 100 top actresses and female film directors will stage a protest on the red carpet at the Cannes Film Festival to support the #MeToo movement against sexual harassment. The announcement came on the eve of the opening of the world's biggest film festival, which has been profoundly shaken by the scandal engulfing Hollywood tycoon Harvey Weinstein. The Women's March will take place on Saturday evening and is likely to include Kate Blanchett, who chairs this year's female majority jury. The 2018 Palme d'Or Prize got an outing on the eve of the opening of the 71st Cannes Film Festival. The Palme d'Or, a golden palm tree branch on a crystal base, is made in a Swiss workshop and takes 3 weeks to put together. The 2018 version is made from 118 grams of 18-carat yellow gold. The accolade is made of fair mine gold from Colombia, where the gold is extracted by artisan miners. Cannes Film Festival director Thierry Frémaux has defended the range of films competing for this year's Palme d'Or, saying organisers wanted to be daring. The official selection includes fewer list names than usual, both behind and in front of the camera. And Frémaux told journalists at a pre-festival news conference that in the past he had regrets about not being bold enough. Venezuela's leftist president Nicolas Maduro welcomed the recently re-elected Palestine leader Mahmoud Abbas in Caracas to assert his country's backing for the Palestinian cause. Top Venezuelan officials such as Foreign Minister Jorge Ariza were on hand, as well as Abbas reviewed the Venezuelan honor guard. Kennedy Center trustees have voted to rescind Bill Cosby's Kennedy Center Honors and Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, two of the nation's top artistic prizes, following his sex assault conviction. The Kennedy Center joins several U.S. universities that have revoked honorary degrees bestowed upon the 80-year-old, the Cosby Show star. Government shot dead a parliamentary candidate at his home in northern Iraq in an attack claimed by the Islamic State group. The candidate was shot dead by armed men at dawn after they forced their way into his home. The official named the slain candidate as Farouk Zarzour al-Jabouri, who was a Sunni from Shiite Vice President Ayad Alawi's National Alliance list. National elections are set to take place in the Shiite majority country on Saturday. Violent scenes were witnessed in the Bolivian city of Santa Cruz after Bolivian police used tear gas to disperse merchants who did not want to leave their stalls. These installations have drawn the ire of authorities as they've grown so large as to complicate the basic maintenance of lights and telephone and sanitation units. Riot police were called in after the merchants began burning tires and a vehicle, throwing rocks and setting firecrackers off. Sources say Serbia's Finance Minister Dusan Vujovic submitted a letter of resignation citing personal reasons. Reportedly, Vujovic wrote to Prime Minister Ana Brnabic detailing his reasons for leaving. A former World Bank economist in Ukraine and at its headquarters in Washington, Vujovic was appointed Finance Minister in 2014 and has been involved in final negotiations on the 3-year loan deal with the fund. Argentina's peso strengthened for the second day. In a sign, the government and central bank had curbed a run on the currency with a massive rate hike and lower fiscal deficit target. Last week, the peso hit an all-time low of 23 per greenback, prompting the government to announce additional fiscal belt tightening and the central bank to yank its key interest rate up to 40% on Friday. Britain's Prince Charles and Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, arrived in southern France and took the chance to see local tourist sites and sample local perfume. In Eze, which is a picturesque medieval town near Nice on the French Riviera, they visited the laboratory of perfume maker Fragonard, which opened in 1926. Earlier, the pair attended a ceremony to commemorate the victims of the 26th Bastille Day attack in Nice. America's National Rifle Association named retired U.S. Marine Colonel Oliver North as its next president. Colonel North is a conservative commentator best known for his central role in the 1980s Iran-Contra affair. The group named North following its weekend annual meeting in Dallas, where President Donald Trump vowed not to tighten U.S. firearms laws, despite suggesting earlier this year that he would take on the NRA in the wake of a mass shooting at a Florida school. On his visit to Indonesia, Chinese Premier has said that China is willing to build on the good momentum of the comprehensive strategic partnership with the country and jointly achieve greater development. While meeting with Indonesian President Joko Widodo in the Presidential Palace in Bogor, West Java, he said that China and Indonesia are important neighbors and natural cooperative partners with common interest. And over to news from India. Dust storms hit Delhi and the adjacent areas, including states of Haryana, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. In view of the thunderstorm warning for today, the Delhi government has decided to close all evening schools for today and has put search and rescue teams on standby in the wake of the Met Department issuing a warning of heavy rain and thunderstorm. Schools and colleges will also remain closed in Uttar Pradesh's district of Ghaziabad. A five-judge constitution bench of the Supreme Court is all set to hear today a petition moved by two Congress lawmakers challenging rejection of the impeachment notice against Chief Justice of India Deepak Mishra by Rajya Sabha Chairman Venkaiah Naidu. The bench will be headed by Justice A.K. Sikri, number 6 in seniority. The other members are Justices S.A. Bobde, N.V. Ramana, Arun Mishra and A.K. Goyal, who are next in the sequence of seniority. And it's over to news from the world of entertainment. Carlos Carvalho, an award-winning South African filmmaker, died at the age of 47 after he was headbutted by a giraffe at a safari lodge in South Africa. He had been working on a feature film at the lodge when the mishap happened. He was flown by a helicopter to a hospital in Johannesburg, where he later succumbed to his injuries. Gigi Hadid and Vogue Italia have separately apologized for the May Vogue Italia cover showing the top model with a darker skin tone and hair color that set off a social media backlash and underlined the lack of diversity in the fashion industry. Hadid, in a post on social media, said, and I quote, "Diversity needs to be addressed and I don't want to take opportunities away from anyone else." The cover shows the normally blonde Hadid with dark hair and heavily bronzed skin wearing a tiara and sequined jumpsuit. American rapper Snoop Dogg took to Instagram to share a photoshopped image of a white and new Kanye West taking an apparent jibe at him over his recent controversial comments on social media. Kanye West had suggested that enslavement of African Americans over centuries may have been a choice. He had also tweeted in support of US President Donald Trump. Filmmaker Arjun Hingorani, who directed Dharmendra's debut film Dil Bhi Tera Hum Bhi Tere in 1960, has passed away at the age of 92. Sharing a picture with Hingorani on social media, Dharmendra wrote, "The man who put his hand around the shoulder of this loner in Mumbai has left us forever. I am extremely sad." Composer Ramin Djawadi has another talent apart from writing music for film and television. He can keep a secret. The German-Iranian musician who has written all the music for hit show Game of Thrones is one of the first people to view footage from the new seasons. He says, and I quote, "I'm really good at keeping secrets. I mean, I just say, sorry, can't talk about it."